Hi, welcome to the sixth module of my strategic planning masterclass. Well done for making it this far. If you have any comments, any thoughts whatsoever, please drop me a line. I'd be most grateful. So today we're really getting into the nitty-gritty of the strategic planning process, and we're looking at how do you run the diagnosis. And here I'm talking about both the external and the internal diagnosis, as well as the value proposition and the business model. So first, how would you go about doing this? How would you go about collecting all the information and knowledge that absolutely exists within your company? Or perhaps maybe it doesn't. How do you go about collating all that knowledge that is easy to get, easier now than it ever has been? So perhaps an idea is to make trained experts. So individuals in your company, assign them a certain trend or area, and then get them to share the information real time or at certain points. Don't let anybody hold on to information. Become a proper knowledge company. Another idea is to actually, collate an annual trend book. Get these individuals to publish what they've discovered, put it all together, and then allow everybody in the organization to have access, so everybody's knowledge level is at the same level. A few models for you here. The pestle model, this goes back to my university times, but it's still relevant, it still works. Pestle, what does it stand for? It stands for, you need to look at the politics, you need to look at the economy, you need to look at social trends, you need to look at legal trends, what's happening environmentally, and becoming a bigger and bigger issue, the tech trends. So, if in doubt, think of the pestle model. So these 6 areas you should assign to somebody that they follow, and they feed back to the rest of the organization or the leadership team or to directors, and ideally to everybody, but in the right format. You want to be looking at what's happening with the industry. So check out the industry bodies, check out industry publications, look at Mintel reports. You may have to spend a little bit of money getting them, but they can be invaluable. And you know what? If you don't have any money, Google it. There's lots of free information there on your industry. You just need to go out and get it. Porter's 5 forces, again, back from university days. Analyze what's happening within your competitive environment. What is the threat of new entrants? What is the bargaining power of buyers? Potential threat of substitutes, or bargaining power of suppliers? And then right at the center of this, what is the rivalry amongst current players? So understanding what your competitors is doing is critical. Make sure you have some kind of competitor watch within your team. Something that I did before we set up the CIA, or Competitor Intelligence Agency, just to keep an eye on big events, big programs, whether it be marketing or production or financial activities for our competitors, and let all of these ideas become part of the culture. Make sure you're open and transparent, and you share the knowledge. If you wait too long before sharing the knowledge, it might be redundant. So make sure you share the knowledge in the right way. So this gives you a flavor of how to conduct the external diagnosis and how you pull that together. Here's just a PowerPoint chart, and it's a way not only to write down what the different trends are, what are the dynamics within that area or trend, but it also gets you to the so what and our response. So let's take it block by block. So top left, you can put in what are the expected changes within this area. Could be environmental, could be tech, could be political. You just put them down bullet point by bullet point. Then, crucially, what is the so what? What is the implication on your industry or on your company? How is it going to affect you? That's great. But then finally, get to what is a potential response? How can you take advantage, or how do you mitigate against the impact? As an example, I kind of just thought of all the incredible tech advancements that are happening right now. So the big three, it's AI, biotech, and nanotech. But then under that, you have renewable energy innovation. You've got biomimicking, big data, IoT, blockchain. You've got 3D printing coming through. You've got drones, hyperloop testing. You've got next generation rocket and spacecraft and scramjets. Flying cars. I know it sounds crazy, but they're being developed. Life extension techniques. Then, in terms of the galaxy, black hole and dark matter understanding, back home to Earth, agriculture advancements, and in fact also reality enhancements with virtual and augmented. So a huge amount of things going on with tech. What is the implication? What is the so what for your organization and your industry? I said in one of the earlier modules, in fact, I think it was the first one, if you haven't been disrupted, you will be soon. So get ready for it, and get ready for what response and how you will need to adapt your organization. Let's look at the internal diagnosis and some tools and processes. So the good old SWOT. Now I've seen many SWOTs. Some are better than others. My point to you here is be specific, be detailed. Okay, no point in just having top line generic strengths or generic opportunities. No, be very specific with what you get down there. Use the BCG matrix, right? How is the market growing and what is the relative share? I've used that in previous companies. Really useful in understanding how you're competing versus your competitors. Ask your employees. Conduct company surveys. Okay. Evaluate or assess your leadership team. How strong are you internally? How tight-knit is your culture, right? How values and purpose-driven are you? We covered this in the last module. Clearly, you need to look at performance. How well have you done? Look at your financials, but you also have a feel in terms of the qualitative factors. If you're in the brand game, how strong is your brand? You can get excellent data from consumer research companies. And also ask folk within your ecosystem, ask customers, ask your suppliers for feedback. Here's just an example of a internal SWOT template, and you'll get these in the final module. Do it live. Remember, when you're brainstorming, there's no bad ideas. So have an open brainstorm, and then afterwards, make sure you keep the good ideas and discard the bad ideas. You keep everything that's relevant, and make sure you summarize it in a way that is presentable. Okay, so you've done your external and you've done your internal diagnosis. Now let's look at your value proposition and your business model. Good way to start is to summarize all the inputs from your internal diagnosis and then articulate where, in fact, you're adding value to the lives of your clients and customers. What are you doing for them? Also, ask yourself, what are your top 5 core competencies versus your competitors? Okay, what gives you the competitive advantage? Don't go for too many. 5 for me is the right number. If you have too few, you might not be strong. You might not be competing at the same level. You have too many, it gets a little bit unwieldy. So stick to 5. And the test behind those is, are they relevant? Okay, are they relevant to your clients and your customers? Are they differentiated from your competitors? And do you own them? Are they very difficult to replicate? So those are the 3 tests I always have in the back of my mind: relevant, differentiated, and ownable. And then use this part of the process to challenge your business model. The strategic planning process is all about creativity and curiosity. So think about, all right, have you been disrupted? Or when will you be disrupted? Does your business model still work? What needs to be improved? Is it the team or the process and tools? Be very open, be critical, but in a constructive way. Here's a model which I really like. It's a client-customer deconstruction. So look at your clients or customers. Look at what people you're trying to help. Build a pen portrait, a customer profile. Then look at their needs versus your offer. On the need side, what are your clients' desires and what are their problems? And then next to their desires and problems, what are the outcomes that you potentially offer and the specific solution? So a great little model that will help you really getting under the skin of your client. You may at this stage also want to look at your marketing mix. And here's a classic 5Ps model, starting with the epicenter, the positioning, then looking out at your price, promotion, place, and product. This is not a marketing masterclass, so I'm not going to go in any more depth. But the strategic plan process, again, it's the right time to challenge, to get a sense of how strong is your marketing mix. And if it's an issue, then you may want to raise it as a potential battleground in the next module. But let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. So yes, that takes us to the end of this module. We've covered a lot of ground. I've given you a lot of tools and techniques. We've covered the external and internal diagnosis, and we've looked at ways as to how you challenge your value proposition and business model. In the next module, we'll look at how you bring all of that amazing and insightful intelligence and how you set and understand what are your battlegrounds and what are your ambitions within those battlegrounds. Fantastic stuff. See you then. Take care.